am super excited to dive into this comment. This says, I have issues with the rules changing. So, for example, lights on or off, security, stuff like that, and how it changes all the time, even though you're supposed to have them on if I'm in the pod or doing rounds. I know that I'm right, but I know I won't win the fight because obviously I'm not rank. I finally got some respect. Okay, this says, finally, I got some respect since I got into a few fights, and I covered down for a lot of guys doing other things. It's all teamwork, but for some reason, they think inmates are in charge. Thanks for the great work. I know that this really isn't a question, but I feel like we need to cover this. So let's do it. Greetings, my fearless frontliners, my fellow guardians of the galleries. I'm William Young, and this is my channel. And if you're new here, then welcome. If you're a current, aspiring, retired, or soon to be retiring correctional professional, and you're looking for content, correctional content that is informative, engaging, that is intended to educate and elevate the profession, then you're in the right place. If you're not looking for that, then I'm not. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I can talk to you about coffee, maybe, if you want to talk about coffee, but that's probably not what these people, the rest of us, are. Never mind. Here we go. Before we get into it, and I'm going to get into this, I'm gonna peel the layers of the onion back. But before we do that, I got to give a big thank you, a big Just Corrections virtual hugging kiss to the members of the JCP, the Just Corrections Patreon community, and the members of the channel for supporting, for sponsoring the videos. I could not create the content, put out the content that I do without their love, their support, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. And if you're watching, you're listening, you'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a member of the channel. There are a couple of different tiers, different options, and as a member, you're going to get early access to the videos, all the videos, members-only content, behind-the-scenes stuff, members-only live stream, all of that. And I've actually put a bunch of my old interviews, a bunch of those things on the membership section, so you're going to dive right in, have 30 or 40 videos to watch. If you would like to contribute in another way, then just like the video, subscribe to the channel, do the things. You know how YouTube works, whatever. There are a few things happening here going on in the email that I got, and I need to sort through it. So I figured that I'd do it all with you, and maybe you can help me out. So we're just going to start at the beginning. And this says right here, it says, I have issues with the changing rules. For example, lights on or off, security, stuff like that, and how it changes all the time, even though you're supposed to have them on if I'm in a pod or doing rounds. All right, you following me? I know I'm in the right, but I won't win the fight because I'm obviously not rank. Okay, there are rules for a reason, policies for a reason, procedures for a reason. Okay, know them, follow them, and here's the deal: people get lazy, right? People get complacent inside, and on top of that, different people enforce different things differently. There's absolutely no consistency, which is incredibly frustrating for officers that are trying to do things the right way. So here's what I'll say. If there's a rule, like in this case, having the lights on in the unit, then turn the lights on in the unit. If you're supposed to have them on, then have them on, especially if you're in the pod, walking through, doing counts or whatever. Turn them on. And this isn't just about the lights, right? You should be enforcing rules and following policy because that's the job. And this says, I know that I'm in the right, but I won't win the fight because I'm not ranked. Well, I'm here to tell you there is no fight. If you are running the pod, the unit, walking through the pod, or the unit responsible for the people in the pod or the unit, then turn the lights on. If a superior or a supervisor chastises you, ridicules you, or reprimands you for following policy, explain that what they are asking you to do or ordering you to do is a violation of policy. And then if they still tell you to do it, if they double down, then document it. Now, maybe the exception to this lighting thing would be on graves, right? The overnight shift. We probably won't turn on the house lights, but there should be lights, night lights, I think they're called, that allow you to see what's going on. But regardless of when it is or what's happening, if a supervisor or superior or whoever tells you to violate policy, then you have to document it. My report would read something like this. This is just a sample report right here. On August 2nd, 2025 at 1600 hours, I, Officer William Young, was instructed by my supervisor, Sergeant Been Here Too Long, to conduct a round in Housing Unit A. Prior to entering the unit, I noticed that the lights were off. And knowing that policy number 1.1.123 states that the lights are supposed to be on from 0600 hours to 2200 hours, I made my way to the switch and turned the lights on. Do you see what I'm doing here? At that time, my supervisor, Sergeant Been Here Too Long, asked me what I was doing and instructed me to turn the lights back off. I explained to him that per policy, right, the lights are supposed to be on. Sergeant Been Here Too Long told me that he didn't care what policy said and that I needed to shut the lights off and do my rounds. I told him that what he was asking me to do wasn't safe, was against policy, and I didn't feel comfortable doing a round in the unit in the dark. He responded by saying he was giving me a direct order to shut off the lights and do my round or else. I then explained to Sergeant Been Here Too Long that I was not trying to be difficult or defiant, but I was not going to conduct a round unless the lights were on. Sergeant Been Here Too Long then ordered me to write a report explaining why I was refusing to do the job I was hired to do. And then the beautiful part. This is why I am such a fan, such an advocate of BWCs, body-worn cameras. The entirety of this interaction was captured on my BWC, and then I include the number so they can look it up. So that's that. And I've had a handful of interactions like this during my tenure, during my time in corrections. Supervisors asking me to do something or to sign something or to say something that wasn't exactly policy, and I told them that I would, right? But in my report, I would document that I explained to them, why I didn't want to do the thing that they were asking me to do. And that was usually enough to get them off my back. So what I'm saying is there is no fight, right? There is only wrong and right. And I'm not risking my life. I'm not risking my job for anybody. So turn the lights on. And if it gets to the top and the top wants to discipline you for following their policy, well, then maybe this isn't the type of place or the type of people that you want to work with. But what are your thoughts? Put them in the comments below. Have you been asked to disregard policy, to violate policy? How did you handle it? What would you recommend that this person do? And speaking of fighting, I'm going to look at the next part of this email. I finally got some respect. It says here, I finally got some respect since I got in a few fights. I'm hoping... Oh, man, I'm hoping what we mean here is that something happened, a fight, an altercation, and that you were able to intervene, that you responded and did what had to be done with the minimal amount of force necessary to safely and swiftly neutralize the threat to restore order. I hope we are not handing out respect based on how many hands-on encounters we have. And what I fear we mean here is that because I got into a few fights and was able to handle my business, my peers, my coworkers think that I'm cool because anyone can get into a fight in jail, right? In prison. The environment that we work in is ripe with conflict. What I want to see, what I respect, is an officer that does whatever they can do to avoid a physical altercation, that uses communication and de-escalation to achieve the correctional objective. That's what I like to see. And then after all else fails, and if we need to go hands-on, we could do that, but that should not be the go-to. I also have concerns with this covering down thing, which I think means covering up for or covering for a lot of guys, and it says, quote unquote, doing other things. And I hope I'm not wrong here, but it sounds like we've earned the respect of our peers by fighting and lying for them. And if that's the case, then that's bad, right? I've seen a lot of staff, a lot of officers get caught up for covering up. I've seen officers lose their job and go to jail for not reporting or false reporting. It's not good, folks. And that's why, again, I love the body camera. See, I want corrections to be viewed in the same light, with the same respect, at the same level of scrutiny as police, as law enforcement out on the street. What we do matters, and the way that we do it matters even more. So if we're lying and we're fighting and we're hiding and punching people in handcuffs, then we need to be held accountable. Do you agree with me or disagree? Look, I'm going to end with this. I do agree with the statement that teamwork, and they end this right at the end here. I agree with the statement that teamwork is important. Corrections is absolutely a team sport, but that does not mean that we look the other way when someone steps out of line. Being a good team member, a good teammate, means holding the rest of the team accountable. Okay, I actually lied. I'm going to end with this, the last line of the email. And for some reason, they think that the inmates are in charge. This bothers me because they are not. They're absolutely not in charge. We are. we are in control. We control the facility. We set the tone for the facility, not through force, not through violence, but through care, custody, and control. All right, guys, if you like this video, if you found value in this video, straight punch that little like icon, subscribe, and share the content. Let people know about the content. Everyone you know that you think may be interested, and I want you to get involved. Leave me your thoughts. Let me know your comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Should we be fighting? Should we be lying? Should we be covering up? Should we be following policy and putting the lights on? And then how do you, drop in the comments, how do you deal with those people, those superiors, those supervisors that are so worn out, so burnt out, that they're asking you blatantly, they're right up front telling you to disregard policy? What do you guys do? I want to hear your comments, guys. I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You can find me on there, follow me on there. Check out the books. They're all available on Amazon. Links will be available in the, did I say Amazon right? They're all available on Amazon. Yes, links. I got to slow down. Links in the, whatever, you get it. If you don't know how to find stuff on Amazon now, I don't know what to tell you. You probably shouldn't be working in corrections or viewing YouTube on your own if that's the case. And if you would like to bring me out to speak or present at your facility or your event, send me an email at justcorrections.booking@gmail.com. And if you're craving, as always, more premium correctional content, check out the video right here or this video that's going to pop up somewhere in the neighborhood of, yep, there it is right there. Okay. Don't even know. I don't even care why. What's going on here? All right, guys, that's all I got. Until next time, be smart, stay safe, stay sane, and we'll talk soon. I don't also know why. Point. Who cares? Have a good day.